Morning. I am Vibhuti CP from KG Somaya College, Koparga. I am going to teach you the agrochemicals. It is a part of industrial chemistry TYBSc class. Last time we learned about the pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, etc. Let me learn the another topic of this chapter, that is rodenticides. Here, before to learn the rodenticides, we must know what is rodent. Rodent are the animals like the rat, mice, rabbit, which cut the things with its strong front teeth. That's why here they can be easily destroy the crop and decreases the rate of production of the crop. Here we learn the rodenticides are the pest control chemicals which is useful to kill the rodent. It's called as a rodenticides. But these rodenticides had some controversial due to the secondary poisoning on and the risk to the children, pets and the wildlife. That means if we uh, use these pesticides and keep in our house, if this is taken by our pets like the dog, cat or the small animals or the children, here they causes the death, and that's why it is very risky to keep this rodenticide in our house. There are different examples of rodenticides are warfarin, zinc phosphates, etc. Let me learn the next topic of this chapter, that is plant growth regulators. That means these chemical compounds not only useful for to kill the pest, but it is very useful to increase or to regulate, to develop the growth of the plant. Let me learn some chemicals or hormones which is useful to develop the growth of the plant, to develop the flowers and the fruits, which causes to increase the plant production and the crop production. Let me learn what is the plant growth regulators. These are nothing but the plant hormones are the chemical substances which control growth, development and movement of the plant tissue and the organs of the plants like leaves, stem, root and the fruits. This having some examples, that is gibberellic acid, cytokinin and the auxins. Here it has some applications. First, it increase the early germination of the seed and stimulate the root development. They may accelerate the ripening of the fruit and the organs. Ripening of the fruit and the organs. It also prevent the fruit of from dropping of plant or the tree before ripening. That means here if the fruit which is dropping off, their rate of production or the benefit is going to decreases, and that's why here these hormones which prevent the dropping effect of the plant, dropping of the fruit from of the plant going to before the ripening. They may produce the seedless fruit and control the sprouting of the potato. Here it produces the seedless fruit. There are the different examples are there. Banana is there. This is the seedless fruit, or it has some seedless, but by adding some hormones their seed is size of seed is going to decreases, and that's why we get the seedless fruit. Here next is the application. It may provide a industry the biggest market. Next we are going to learn the classification of the plant hormones. Here the first is auxins. Here there are the classification according to the function of the chemical compounds. First classification, that is the auxins, which is mostly useful for what? The cell elongation. Next is gibberellins. This is useful for the cell elongation plus cell division translated into the growth. Next, that is a cytokinin. This is useful for the cell division, plus it inhibit the senselessness. Senselessness, that is the process of deterioration with the age. That means here the plant is going to deteriorate after some period. Every plant have their growing period and the deterioration period. This cytokinin is a hormone which is decreases their deterioration, that is a destroying period of that plant, and that's why here their product giving property is going to increases. Next, that is the abscisic acid. This is useful for the abscission of the leaves and the fruits. Abscission, that is the detachment of the part of the plant, typically dead leaves and the ripe fruit. Here the abscission of the fruit and the leaves, plus dormancy induction of the bud and the seeds. Dormancy induction, that means it responds to the environmental condition. That means in the extreme cold condition or the extreme heat condition, this plant will physically show their activity, that is called as a dormancy induction of the bud and the seeds. Next is that is ethylene. Ethylene, which promote the sensuousness and epinacity and the fruit ripening. Epinacity, that is it increases the growth of upper part of the upper surface of the organ, which is useful to bend into the downward, and due to that here this fruit is going to ripen and we can easily detach this fruit from the stem. Okay, this is the application this is the signification classification of the plant. We learn one by one. First, that is auxins. Auxins, which is mostly useful for what? The stem elongation. Let me learn here the examples. There is a asymmetric placement of the cut tip. This is the cut tip. This is the cut tip. We can cut the tips which contains the auxin, which transfer this tip into the agar solution, agar block. Then this auxin which is diffused into the agar block, and this diffused agar block which apply to the coleoptile. Coleoptile, that is this is the sheet protecting young shoot tip in a grass and the cereal. That means this is the young shoot. On their young shoot we apply this auxin, and due to this application auxin is transported to the stem or this shoot, and then what happen, this shoot which is goes to the uh, away from bending to the away from the coleoptile. This is the coleoptile, and here their bending capacity, plasticity is going to increase due to what? The addition of the auxins. Okay, here this auxin which occurs in very low concentration, mostly it is isolated from the human urine, and also sorry, it promote the activity of the vascular cambium and the vascular tissue. It play a role in a fruit development. Next is it is very useful for the cell elongation. That is the auxin work by causing a responsive cell to actively transport the hydrogen ion from the cytoplasm into the cell wall, and that's why the elongation of the cell is going to increases. Next, the synthetic auxin, which is mostly useful in agriculture and the horticulture. Agriculture, that means the study of the farm and their plant, and horticulture, that is the art of garden cultivation. We can cultivate the garden by using or applying the different fruits. Next, that is it prevent the leaf abscission. That means the cut off of the leaves we can prevent by using this auxin. Next, it prevent the fruit drop. before the ripening. Next is it promote the flowering and the fruiting. Flowering and fruiting. Next, that is the gibberellin. Here this is the structure of the gibberellin. Remember this. This is only shake of knowledge, not included in your syllabus. Let me learn what is the gibberellin. Gibberellin are named after the fungus Gibberella fugicori. Gibberella fugicori, which causes the rice plant, to grow abnormally tall. This is synthesized in a apical portion, that is the upper portion of the stem and the root. This is important effect on the stem elongation, and in some cases is hasten the seed germination. Hasten, that means it increases the rate of seed germination. Here let me learn the effect of gibberellins. Here we can see in this picture, here there are the two grapes is there, first and second. What happened here? This is the Thompson's seedless grape grown in California, treated with a gibberellic acid to increase the size. You can see the difference of these two grapes. Here in the first grapes, on these grapes we apply the gibberellic acid, and that's why here it produces the seedless grapes and increase their size. Okay. The first effect, it induces the cell division and cell elongation. That means this gibberellin, which is useful for cell division and cell elongation, but this auxin, which is only useful for what? Cell elongation, not the cell division. Next is this gibberellic acid stimulated elongation does not involve in the cell wall acidification. For the cell elongation, auxin require the acidification of the cell wall, but this gibberellin doesn't require the acidification of the cell wall of the plant. Next is that here this is useful for seed germination, especially in cereal grasses like the barley. This is useful for the seed germination of the barley. Next, that is the promotion of the flowering. Next here we learn that is the cytokinin. Here there are the different types of the cytokinin. First, this is the kinetin. This is the cytokinin basic structure. Sorry. This is the gelatin. These are some different structures of the different types of the cytokinin. This is just only for your knowledge. This structure are not included in our syllabus. This cytokinin, which is in combination with the auxin, stimulates the cell division and the differentiation. Most cytokinin produced in root apical meristem and transported throughout the plant. It inhibits the formation of lateral root. Auxin promote their formation. Let me learn their function. It promotes the cell division, morphogenesis and lateral bud development, and it delay the sensitivity. Delay the sensitivity, that means deterioration of the plant with their age. It delay the rate of deterioration. Next is abscisic acid. Abscisic acid is produced chiefly in the mature green leaves and the fruits. Mature green leaves and the fruits. Here it suppresses the bud growth and promote the lip sensation. It also play an important role in controlling the stomatal opening and the closing. Here the stomata is the limit to entry of the pathogen into the leaves. Okay, this is about the stomatal opening. This is the structure of the abscisic acid. Let me learn their functions. First, it is useful for to generate the growth inhibitors. It is causes stomatal closure. Stomatoclosure, that means here the adaptation response of the plant to onset of the dry condition. That means if the dry condition is there, this plant which responses to close the stomata, and that's why the pathogen which cannot be enter into the leaves, that is called as the stomatal closure. Next, it is useful for to produce in a response to stress. It is useful for what? Produce to response to the stress. Next is ethylene. This is the structure of the ethylene. This is a very well examples of the ethylene. Let me learn their functions. This ethylene, which is the gaseous in form and rapid, that's why it is rapidly diffusing. This gas produced in one plant, it will apply to the nearby plants because it is in a gaseous form. This is very useful in a fruit ripening. This is useful in epinacity. Epinacity, that means here that it increase the growth of upper surface of the organ, and which causes it causing into bent into the downward. That means this is a downward curvature of the leaves. It encourages the sensuousness and abscission. Encourage sensuousness, that means what? It is the process of deterioration. It encourage the process of deterioration, and that's why that means, and bud development. If the bud is developed, that means what happen here? The fruit is going to develop earlier and fruit ripen. Here, this is also useful for the flowering. The ethylene inhibits the flowering in most cases, but it is very useful. It promote in few plants like pineapple and the mangoes. Next is, this is the sex expression. That means the cucumber bud treated with the ethylene, it form a carpellate female flowers, and whereas where we use the gibberellin, it becomes a staminate flower. Staminate flower, that means a male flower, and if both of these flower present in one plant, there is a formation of the cucumber is going to increases. This is all about the plant growth hormones. Here in this lecture we learn about what? The rodenticides and plant growth hormone. In this plant growth hormone, we use the different types of the hormones like auxins, gibberellic acids, ethylene, etc. Here, the next time we learn the formulation of the pesticides. Thank you.